Hi, I'm Kenny Miller, and you're watching Caps Corner.
Hey, this is Omar Salgado, and you're watching Caps Corner.
Hi, Whitecaps fans. I'm Gershon Kofi, midfielder of the Vancouver Whitecaps FC, and you're watching Caps Corner.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to Caps Corner, brought to you by VSBN.ca. I'm Shaheed Devji, alongside our resident Whitecaps expert, Todd May. You'll know he's an expert because of his heavy British accent. Todd, a very exciting start to the Whitecaps season. They're third in the MLS.
Definitely an exciting start to the season. Martin Rene's brought in some new additions to the squad for an exciting brand of football. Definitely a good season to come.
Yeah, and it was an exciting start before the season, too, as the Whitecaps launched their new home kit at the Rocky Mountaineer train station in front of an excited crowd of season ticket holders. Take a look.
I love the idea of the jersey, what it all represents. It really ties into this club well, and it's a club that's very proud of its history, and all of these types of things entwined into a jersey is not only creative but very designer friendly as well. So it's all good in our book.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen, the handsome, stylish, and skillful Vancouver Whitecaps 2013. We'll see you.
So judging by the lineup at the merchandise booth, Todd, the fans really like that uniform.
I think they do. I think the white is a trademark Whitecap strip. The subtle changes are definitely enjoyed by the fans. It was voted one of the best kits in the league the last 2 seasons, so I think that the fans will enjoy representing the white and blue of the Whitecaps.
I like it because the horizontal stripes are gone and the diagonal stripes replace them, and you don't have to buy a new jersey. And if you have the old white one, it looks almost identical to the new white one, so you still feel a part of the team. So the launch event set the stage for Vancouver's 3rd season in MLS, and to open the season, they faced Canadian rival Toronto FC, and you'll see here through the game recap that, at least initially, early expectations were met. It's officially a trend. For the 3rd straight year, the Vancouver Whitecaps opened the MLS season in front of a packed BC Place stadium. And as they've done in each of the 2 previous campaigns, the Whitecaps were able to defeat a Canadian rival. Gershon Kofi's goal in the 60th minute was all the Caps needed to defeat Toronto FC 1-0, a sign the young midfielder is ready to take on a larger offensive role this season.
Yeah, I feel like I can score more goals, more than 10 or maybe less than 10, but this is the first game, so we take it one after the other.
This year, Kofi will be aided in the midfield by newcomer Nigel Rio-Coker, who entered the game as a substitution and brought a sense of calm to a squad which was struggling to get rolling in its first game.
Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed every moment of it. It's a new challenge for me, something I look forward to, and I enjoyed every minute of it. It's always difficult, regardless of what level you're playing at, what league. It's always more difficult to come on as a substitute. I was mentally prepared already for that, and like I said, watching the first half, I thought the boys played really well. I just thought if we stepped it up another gear or 2, we could definitely get the right result.
Yeah, it was very significant. I thought that he drove the team on. He won a lot of balls that we weren't winning in the first half. His weight of pass forward was very good, created some good chances, put some good balls in the box, and just generally he's got a presence and a confidence about him, a swagger about him even that wears off and rubs off on other people, and you have to have that to be a good team.
Since becoming the first Canadian team to play in an MLS playoff match last season, losing in the first round to eventual champion LA Galaxy, Rennie's Whitecaps have undergone some significant changes. And with an early injury to captain Jay Demerit, which could keep him out for an extended period of time, the team takes on a new identity.
We had tough decisions throughout the team. Some very good players didn't even make it on the field today, but they'll all contribute over the course of a season. It's a very long season, and this is a great way to start.
So the Whitecaps put up a clean sheet against the Reds to go to 1-0 on the season. Gershon Kofi with the game's lone goal. And Todd, 1 game, 1 win. This newly revamped Whitecaps team had high expectations heading into the season, and They met them in the first game. What were your impressions?
I was definitely impressed by the way the Whitecaps began the season. An exciting brand of football is trying to be played with the new additions to the squad. Definitely exciting times ahead.
Definitely more than one game in March. The first game was a victory. There were 3 more games in March, and we'll get up to speed by taking a look at the results. So starting off with the second game of the season at BC Place, the Whitecaps got off to an early start against the Crew in this one with a goal from Daigo Kobayashi, and after Columbus tied right off the bat in the second half, Kenny Miller came through with a spectacular goal on basically a solo effort. The Whitecaps win 2-1.
Another good start for the Whitecaps in the first road game of the season. None other than Darren Mattox bags one in the 36th minute. But the second half was all Houston as they showed why they had gone 32 matches without losing at home. The final score was 2-1 Dynamo.
And in the final game of the month, Vancouver showed some promise with tons of chances against Chivas USA, but the home squad, who had led the MLS in goals, got out to a 2-0 lead that Vancouver could not surmount despite Kenny Miller's second of the season and a Kakuta Mane breakaway near the end of the game. Vancouver loses 2-1. So the Whitecaps earning points at home and playing well on the road, but not earning points, and that probably has a lot to do with the loss of their captain, Jay DeMerit, who was injured early on in the first game of the season. And Todd, that probably will play a large role in the potential success this season.
Well, absolutely. It's a big loss to lose your captain so early on in the season. However, there are big personalities such as Nigel Reo-Coker, Kenny Miller, who can fill in the spots perfectly.
Yeah, and speaking of big personalities, Darren Mattox is one of those players for the Whitecaps, and he's off to a slow start by anyone's standards. 1 goal in 4 games, and that goal came on the road where he has had more success than at home. Is that concerning to you? Does he need to do more? What does he need to do to impress you and to have success?
Well, the goals are going to come from all angles, and Darren Mattox is a goal scorer. He's a proven goal scorer at this level, and the goals will definitely come.
Okay, well, that's a good sign. After 2 unfavorable outcomes, 2 losses on the road, the Whitecaps need to get back into the win column in April for sure. What do you think they need to do to get back into winning ways?
Getting down to the fundamentals. They'll come back to training this week. They'll work on the basics. They've been doing the right things both in the home and the away games. They'll keep doing them. They'll be fine.
Okay, so that's our take on the team this month, but this is the time of the show where we're going to take you into the locker room and get the team's take in our Team Talks segment.
Jay DeMerit's tweet during the road game, "At least I have Chef Ashley MacGyver's nachos to cheer me up. Come on, Caps."
Okay, we see that picture of nachos, and I have to say, Jay DeMerit is a lucky guy to have, obviously, Ashley MacGyver, but those nachos look good too. Joe Cannon tweeted, "I just want to say how blessed I am to be Nigel Reo-Coker's first roommate in 10 years. Welcome to the MLS on the road, buddy. Hashtag, by the way, I snore."
Definitely not a good idea to keep your captain up.
Definitely not.
Darren Mattox, we just need to focus on the process and the outcome will take care of itself.
Yeah, and that obviously came after their latest loss against Chivas USA, and maybe he's trying to encourage himself a little bit too, not having scored as many goals as he would like. And our last tweet comes from @eTato19, Eric Hurtado, or he likes to call himself E-Money. And this is very good advice, and some I agree with too. McDonald's needs to serve breakfast all day. Hashtag, you can read it. Definitely advice that I agree with and something that I urge McDonald's to do. Breakfast all day. Do they have McDonald's in Britain?
They do have McDonald's.
And breakfast all day?
All day. It's definitely one of a footballer's guilty pleasures.
Guilty pleasure for me too, and I'm not a footballer. All right, before we end, let's take a look at the month ahead for the Whitecaps. They've got 4 games on tap in April. Starting with another road game in the Golden State as the Caps take on San Jose on April 6th.
That's followed by a return to the Bell Pitch at BC Place on April 13th for a match against Real Salt Lake. An early 4 p.m. start for that one.
And a week later, the Caps start a home-and-home versus FC Dallas. Sandwiched between that home-and-home on Wednesday the 24th is a Canadian Championship bout in Edmonton as the Caps will see some familiar faces taking on FC Edmonton.
The Whitecaps end the month on Saturday, April 27th with the back end of that home-and-home against Dallas. A 6 p.m. kickoff for that one.
So glad you could join us on the first episode of Caps Corner, brought to you by VSBN.ca. Be sure to stay glued to the website for all your Whitecaps and local sports information. And tune in once again next month for the April edition of Caps Corner. For Todd May, I'm Shaheed Devji, and we thank you for watching.